In today's video, we're talking about black and white photography. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today things look a little bit different. I'm actually traveling in the UK. I don't have any video lights with me, so I couldn't set up for this video indoors. So I'm doing it out here, so hopefully you can see me and you can hear me okay. So in this video I wanted to talk about black and white photography, and specifically black and white photography that you can do straight out of the camera. So I'm not talking about doing a conversion in Lightroom. I'm talking about shooting straight out of camera, and also I'm going to help you how to set up your camera to do this, because it's not as straightforward as it seems. So the first thing that you may be asking is, why would you want to even shoot in black and white? I mean, isn't black and white like an old-fashioned thing? The thing is that black and white, there's a couple of reasons I think why I like shooting in black and white. Number one is it looks nice. It is one of those classic types of photography that will never go out of fashion. And then the second thing is that I think that black and white is actually a really good way of helping to develop and improve your photography. So things like composition, you'll find that you get much better at it when you shoot in black and white, and I'll explain why. When you are putting together a photograph, the final image is made up of all the different components. So you've got things like shutter speed, you've got aperture, you've got lighting, and you've got color, and as well there's other things as well. But I would say that the three main ones that go into a photograph, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's lighting, composition, and color. And color can be one of those things, it can be incredibly distracting, or it can be incredibly helpful in composing that photograph. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. So in this photograph you have a photograph of a girl at a bus stop waiting for a bus, and the first thing you look at when you look at this black and white photograph is the girl. So there's a lot of contrast around her hair and her face, and so that's the first thing you look at. But if I show you the color version of this photograph, you'll now start to notice that there's some competition for your attention. All of a sudden these pink buses now start to draw your eye away, and so this is a perfect example of how you can use black and white to your advantage, or how it can work against you. So they're the reasons why I like shooting in black and white. Now let me show you the best way that I think is to set up your camera in order to shoot it straight out of the camera. So when it comes to setting up your camera, it's going to be different, because all cameras do this differently. So you're going to have to refer to your user manual or Google it. But what you're looking for is, you're looking to change the profile to black and white. Now, black and white can sometimes be referred to as monochrome. So just remember that monochrome and black and white, they're talking about the same thing. It is black and white. And in a Canon 5D Mark IV, which is what I'm shooting in at the moment, you do that by going into the profiles, and then you've got a selection of different profiles in there. You've got vivid, you've got standard, and so forth, and one of those is called monochrome. And if you set it to that, when you take a photograph on the back of of your LCD, it's going to show you the black and white version of that photograph. But the setup for changing it to monochrome is going to be it's going to be different depending on what kind of camera that you are using. So make sure that you check the user manual, or just Google it for your specific model. Okay, now that you've set that up, every photo that you take from now on the back of the camera, on the LCD, it's going to show you a black and white version of your photograph. So that's it, right? Well, not exactly right. So if you follow any photographer's recommendations, they're always going to be telling you that you need to be shooting in RAW. And this is going to represent a problem when shooting in black and white. You see, the sensor, when you are saving your photograph in RAW format, it's going to record everything that the sensor can see. So even though it's showing you a black and white version of your photograph on the back LCD screen of your camera, it's still going to be saving a color version of that photograph. So if you try to bring in that photo, even though it looks black and white on the back of your camera, when you bring it into Lightroom, it's going to convert it back to color, because that's what the sensor saw at that time. So we have to change the way we save the files onto the camera in order to get around this problem. So how do we solve this problem? Well, we need to save the photograph in a JPEG format. And this is something that you hear people again telling you, do not save in JPEG, shoot in RAW. But for this particular case, we're going to change it so that we can save a copy of that black and white photograph in JPEG. Now, the problem here is that, let's say that you take a photograph, you're saving it in a black and white JPEG, and it ends up being the best photograph you've ever taken. And you would think, you start to think, what would that photograph look like in color? Oh, it would look better in color. So, well, you can't put the color back into the JPEG form, into the JPEG photograph, because it just doesn't work that way. When you save a JPEG format, it will strip all that color away and you can't put it back. So for that reason, I'm going to recommend to you, the way that I do it is, I set up my camera to shoot in what you call a RAW plus JPEG format. And what this does is that the camera will save two files. It will save two photographs. You'll save a JPEG black and white in this particular case, and it will also save a copy of the RAW file as well, which you can then edit to whatever level you want, because it will have all the information in there. Now, again, most cameras will allow you to do this. If you have dual card slots on your camera, then you will save typically a JPEG to one card and a RAW to the other one. But if your camera's only got one card slot only, then typically these cameras will also let you save two files to that one card. So you want to save it again, you want to set your camera to a RAW plus JPEG. So that's how I set up my camera to shoot in black and white. I hope that this was helpful to you. If it was, please don't forget to click the like button. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do so. I make videos like this to help you with your photography every week. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do, and also click the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I upload a new video. And don't forget about ministryoffphoto.com. That's my website where you're going to find a lot of tutorials, and you'll also find things such as reviews and some downloads such as Lightroom presets. It's completely free, so make sure you check it out. That's ministryoffphoto.com. Also, if you weren't able to follow along or you have any questions, just leave them in the comments section below. That's probably the best place to get in touch with me. Otherwise, you can reach me through any of the usual social media platforms. You're going to find all the links in the description below. Again, please don't forget to click the like button. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.